Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing this look for you here, very fall. That wasn't necessarily the intention, but it kind of happened. Just kind of trying out some newer things I've purchased recently. I've got a couple new little palette type things, another couple new goodies that just launched at Sephora and Ulta. And so I just wanted to try some new things. This isn't like a chatty video. It's still gonna be kind of tutorial style, but I will be like interjecting with my first impressions, my thoughts on these products as I'm going through the video. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching as always. And if you want to see how I got the look, then please keep on watching. All right guys, so to start out this look, I'm gonna prime my eyes using the ABH eye primer. It's finally not squirting out every time I open it, which is just absolutely fabulous. And today I'm just actually gonna apply that with my finger and then just dab it in and blend it all the way in with my finger. So first today I'm gonna go into my SAHARAN 2 palette by JUVIA'S Place. And I'm gonna take this deep brown shade right here at the bottom. And I have that on a Morphe M456. And I'm gonna start packing this in my outer corner, and then I'm gonna pack it all the way across my crease. And as always, I don't set the eye primer. I just kind of let it do its thing and grab onto the eyeshadow. I'm then gonna go in with this really warm kind of orangey shade in the other corner of the same palette. And on a Morphe M441, I'm going to start blending out the edges of that dark brown. This may seem like a similar technique to that pink cut crease video I did recently, and it's kind of similar, but I'm not trying to be so like precise with this. This is gonna be a little bit more blended out than that one was. That one was a lot more like very defined and a little more like harsh, I guess. And then once I have that blended out a little bit, I'm actually gonna go into my face powder. This is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Medium Plus. I'm gonna take a little bit of that to go right up around the edge of everything. And then I will go back in with those other two shades one more time, just to make sure they're nice and intense. I'm gonna go back in one more time with the dark brown and reapply that. And then one more time with that orangey color to reblend. And then after I was done that part, I decided I want it just a little bit darker. So I'm then gonna jump into the Warrior palette by JUVIA'S Place. And I'm gonna take the darkest brown shade in the corner. And I'm just gonna layer that right here in the outer corner and a little bit into the crease just to darken up the look a bit. And then very gently kind of blend around the edges to make sure that's nice and blended in. All right, next I'm going with something that I was super excited to see. This is the new STILA, what are they called? Suede Shade Liquid Eyeshadow. So they came out with new ones of these that are matte, which I think is so fun. It says they're like a velvet finish. This particular one is just like a plain matte. Although I did notice some of the other colors in this was like a matte, but it had a little bit of a sheen to it. But this green one is definitely a matte. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my MAC 242 little flat brush, and I'm actually gonna use this liquid eyeshadow to do a cut crease today. And I'm gonna go about halfway across my lid with the cut crease. And when I did this on this side, this works very, very, very well as a product to do the cut crease with. So if you like any of the other shades that came out in that range and you want to use it as, you know, for this particular purpose, this one at least works super well. So at first I actually just kept this matte with just this color, but then I put this pigment on my lower lash line, and I was just gonna have it on my lower lash line, but when I saw it on my lower lash line, I died a little inside from how beautiful it is and decided I literally had to put it all over my eyeball. So I'm going to now put this on my lid. This is the Peaches Makeup Pigment in the shade Snakebite. It is truly truly just amazing. It's beautiful. Just take a look at this. Okay, so I'm gonna use the same brush. Holy crapoly. This is so pretty. So I am just right now tapping it on top of that liquid shadow. I'm not putting it on top of like a glitter glue or anything. And it's also not wet, but I am going to wet it in just a sec, just to put it like right up towards the edge, just so that the edge is like super crisp. But as you can see, it does kind of go on extremely well just on the eyeshadow itself. I'm now gonna take the same pigment on a MAC 210 little liner brush, and I'm just gonna wet it a little bit and just use this brush to get it like right up against the cut crease. All right, so now let's do the bottom. I'm gonna take the Morphe eyeliner in the shade Date Night, and I'm gonna put this all in my waterline and a little under my lashes, and then pull that all the way across. And then I'm just gonna use a little blending brush to buff that out a little bit. And these liners are very creamy, so they're like super easy to blend out. I'm gonna use that same brush and that same deepest shade from the Warrior palette. And I'm just gonna put that right in the outer corner of the lower lash line. Next, I'm gonna take the darkest brown from the SAHARAN 2 palette, and I'm going to blend that all the way across and a little bit underneath the dark shade we put in that outer corner. And then finally, I'm gonna take that orangey shade, again with the same brush, and just blend that down a little more right like underneath everything so that the under eye is super blended. Okay, we're now gonna go back into the SAHARAN 2, and I'm gonna take this shade here. So on swatching this next to a couple other colors, I noticed it's like a perfect middle between a blue and green. So when I put it with this eye look, it looks a lot more green. And then when I blended it next to like an actual like teal blue, it leaned more blue. So I really like this color because it seems like you can definitely work it with like different variations between green and blue. So I'm gonna take this color on the same flat brush, and this is gonna go on our inner corner. And then I also like to take a little extra and sort of like blend right here very gently where those crease colors are, because you'll see it'll fade really nicely all the way up and not leave any like strange lines or anything. I'm now gonna go back in with the STILA shadow, and again, taking the same brush. I love this brush so much because it's so versatile and I can do like 20 different things with it in the same eye look. And I'm gonna take a little bit more of that STILA shadow and pop that right here, mostly getting the color intensity on the inner corner, and then gently blending it out to about like halfway across my eye. And then immediately I'm gonna dip back into that Snakebite pigment. Oh, just wait. And then we're going to pop that. Oh my God. I mean, guys, this pigment though is, oh my God, it's so freaking beautiful. It's crazy. The most perfect fall pigment I've ever seen. Like, it's so cool. It's like green and then like orangey, and then it's got kind of like a brown undertone to it. It's literally stunning. And then at the last minute, I decided I wanted to like pop the inner corner just a touch more. So I'm gonna take this shade from the SAHARAN 2, and it's sort of one of those that, kind of like the one from the Jackie Aina palette, where it looks whitish, but it's actually kind of like a gold shimmer. And I'm gonna take just a little bit of that and then just like pop that right on top. Okay, beautiful. So now I'm gonna go and do my lashes. Today, I'm trying actually a new lash. I know the last quite a few videos I feel like I did, I've been using my AliExpress lashes that I had gotten really cheap. So I've been using those for a long time, but I found something different that I really wanted to try. I saw these at Walmart the other day. It's the Salon Perfect. I love Salon Perfect lashes, by the way. Extension Seeker lashes. So they're supposed to give a lash extension effect. And they are C curl lashes. It says 3D curl multi-dimensional taper tips. And this is what they look like. Like, guys, they are so huge, okay? But they've got such a nice curl to them. And they're still like piecey, you know? So it doesn't just look like a caterpillar sitting on your eye. It's still got some dimension because it's kind of got bundles. And then if you look, I was worried it might be thick, but if you look at the band, it like, I'm gonna try to zoom in on this so you guys can really see. It like is completely movable. So it's still got that super thin band like lighter lashes have, but it's like crazy thick and beautiful and curly. Like these are stunning. They're stunning. So I'm just gonna cut a bit off the end because they're very long, like across the band. They're huge, they're very long. So I had to cut off, let me show you, like a whole pretty thick piece on the end, like 2 bundles to get it to fit my eye. So I'm gonna throw these on. I'm using my dark tone duo as always. And for mascara, I'm using my Benefit Roller Lash. So I'm gonna do that, put some mascara on my lower lashes, and then I will probably fill in my eyebrows really quick just to save some time. I'm using my Urban Decay Brow Blade in the shade Taupe Trap as always, my new favorite brow pencil. So I'm gonna do that, and then we'll be back to work on the face makeup. All right, so let's move on to some face makeup. I'm going to, well, I already have moisturizer on, and I'm actually gonna use a primer today. Sorry, I can't stop looking at this pigment. So pretty. I'm gonna actually use a primer today because everyone and their mother talks about this primer, okay? And I never got it before. As I've said a lot in a lot of my videos, when something's like super hyped up, I tend to like wait a while because I don't want to like fall into hype. At least I try not to. Anyways, so I waited a while and then I finally decided to get it because my Ulta didn't have it for a long time and they finally had it back in. So I was like, fuck it, let me just get it. And it is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. And actually a couple people I follow that I really enjoy, I've seen them talk about this or use this recently. So it was just sort of like, it was time. For putting on this primer today, I'm just gonna use a little Buffy brush. This is the Morphe M439. Oh, this feels really cold. It feels like really cold. Huh, that's weird. So I'm just I kind of just pulled down into that. And then I'm just smoothing this on. How late am I also with trying this primer? At least a year, I think, late to the party. I hope this works. It seems like so many people love this. And so I'm really hoping this works because if it does, I think this was like $6 or something crazy like that. So I'm very excited to see if that actually does anything. I'll try to make sure I actually notice throughout the day how my skin is looking and then put like a little blurb somewhere here about how it kind of like turned out at the end of the day. So I'm gonna use my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate Foundation, which I've been loving. I did end up adding this to my kit like I said I was going to, or I said I was thinking about doing. So I added this to my kit. I got a bunch of colors and it's now in my wedding kit. I actually used it on a bride the other day when I did her trial and it looked so nice. And she ended up texting me later in the day to say that her skin held up really well. So I'm excited about that. So today I'm using the shade F6 on myself and I'm just gonna use the same exact brush to apply this. I love this foundation, like, oh my God, the coverage is so good. Okay, for concealer, I know I'm looking a little pale compared to the rest of my body, but I'm gonna bronze myself up so I won't look as pale. And it's probably good because usually I feel like I probably look too dark. So I'm gonna use some concealer now. This is I finally got it to try it, the Revolution Conceal and Hydrate Concealer. So I'm trying them out together. One of my favorite YouTubers, which I always talk about, Make Me at Missa, she had originally tried this foundation with this concealer and she was part of the reason I didn't buy it at first because it looked crazy on her, like it did some weird stuff to her face. So I didn't buy it at first, but then I decided to give in. So I'm interested to see if this looks weird or not. So I got the shade C3 also, if you're wondering. And I'm gonna use a sponge to blend this in. This is the an e.l.f. sponge. Just to give it the best shot possible because sponges work best for me in concealer. And I am gonna touch up my eyeshadow underneath my eye, so it's okay if I get the concealer too high. So far, this is blending in just fine. I'm not having any issues. Looks like any other concealer I use. All right, so blended in just fine, but I think she had issues when she went to set it. So let's see what happens when I set it. I'm using my usual under eye setting powder, which is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder, shade number 5. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom you guys in. I probably shouldn't have tried so many, or at least 2 different new face things at the same time, because then it's hard to tell what's doing what. But I look really cakey. I look super cakey. I know it can't be the foundation because I've used that before and it didn't make me look cakey, but I don't know if it's translating on camera. Let me see if I can turn down my lighting a little bit. So it'll be easier to see hopefully, but it's just kind of like I feel like my skin looks very heavy. So I don't know if it's the primer or the concealer, but my face did look fine until I put the concealer on. So maybe that concealer is kind of like sketchy. I don't know. I'm gonna keep going and see if I'm still feeling the same way once I put everything else on. So I'm gonna set the rest of my face with my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Medium Plus, the same one I used on my eyes. I've been going back to this recently to kind of finish off and kind of set everything before I go on with color products. It just makes everything smooth out so much and look really nice and soft and kind of blurred. And with all my texture issues I have, I've been enjoying doing that lately because it really softens out my skin. I just realized I didn't put on my eyebrows. I swear, I always forget. If I didn't look so crazy without eyebrows, I probably would never put them on because it takes so long and it's so annoying. See, the Mineralized Skin Finish just blurs everything. Like my skin already looks better. Just putting that powder on top of everything and sort of blending it over. That powder is literally magic. All right, so now I'm actually gonna go do my eyebrows and let this sort of like settle in for a minute before I put on my blush and everything and my bronzer and all that stuff. I don't know, just wanna let it settle in. So yeah, I'm gonna do my brows and then I'll actually be right back to finish everything else. Okay, brows are on and fleeky. So now I'm gonna go in with some bronzer. And today I'm gonna use just one I've been loving lately, the Bare Minerals Faux Tan bronzer. Really, really great neutral color if you don't want something too warm. And I'm just gonna use that to give me some color because the foundation's definitely a little lighter than the rest of me right now. Okay, now I finally don't feel so pale anymore. I'm now gonna go into the Glowing in Grease palette that I've been using for its mirror this whole time. The newer BH Cosmetics Blush and Highlight palette. It's so pretty. It is literally beautiful. So I think today for this look, I think I'm actually gonna take the lightest blush, MYKONOS. And this is a matte blush. And I'm gonna use that with this little MAC blush brush to apply it. That is such a pretty color. It's definitely kind of powdery in the pan, which you guys know I don't like. When you like touch your brush into it, you get like a lot of product and you have to like tap it off, which means it's being wasted. So I kind of don't like that, but the color is really pretty. Okay guys, this is the moment I've been waiting for. I went into Sephora the other day, okay? And I saw they had Cookie. So I almost bought those Benefit Cheek Leaders palettes there was probably about 20 times where I almost bought it, and then I said to myself, I don't need the bronzers, I don't need the blushes, I literally want cookie. Like, that's all I want. And when I saw, like last week, I saw this for the first time on like Trend Mood or something, that they were bringing out cookie on its own, and I just about died. And I didn't know when, and I wasn't paying attention, and then I just happened to go on Sephora and I saw it and I passed out. I resurrected and I bought it, okay? So here we go. Here's the moment of truth. I have not put this on my face yet. I'm so excited, oh my God. I've only ever swatched cookie, so let's see how this looks on me. Wow, that's pretty. Okay, let's put a little more. Blend her. Okay, so immediate thoughts. It's whiter than I thought it was gonna be, but it blends really nicely, gives a really beautiful sheen. I feel like you could see me from another galaxy right now. Okay, let's try it over here. It's pretty. So they had this one, and then they also came out Tickle in the single, which I've also swatched Tickle. And from seeing other people wear that one, it's definitely got a lot more of like a gold to it. Like it looks like a pinky gold, but when you put it on, it just looks like straight like yellow gold. They need this in darker colors. Like this formula seems super nice, but the fact that both colors only work for light people is a joke. They came out with this formula in a color maybe like this, or even like, none of those work. You guys know what I'm saying. Like a nice deep, mid-deep bronze kind of color. Because it's just a shame when someone comes out with something like this, which obviously works so well, but it's only for certain people, because the formula's, it's really nice. And that would just be very smart of them to kind of continue to broaden the spectrum of colors in this, because so many people would buy this. Because even for me, like I like it, but it is almost too white for me. It's almost too light to where I feel uncomfortable, because I don't love like silvery kind of highlights. I like something golden, and I like something more like a medium-ish, like a light medium, as opposed to like a super light kind of color. So this is on the fence for me in terms of like, I love it, but it's just like teetering right there of like, God forbid I had a little bit more of a tan, like this would look like crazy on me. So yeah, love the formula. It looks pretty, but they just definitely need to extend the shade range quite a bit. So I want to go with like a warm brown lip. Who would have thunk it? I know it's going to be another nude lip. You know, it is what it is. But I just like nude lips, so leave me alone. All right, yeah, so I'm going to do like a brownie nude lip today, just to kind of tie in the brown, you know, in the eye. And I mean, with this kind of look, as per usual, I feel like with my looks, I go so intense on the eye that I always end up putting on a nude lip because I'm boring. So I'm going to use Morphe Love Bite Lip Liner. And then for the center, I'm gonna use like a light, warmer nude. This is the Jeffree Star liquid lipstick in the shade I'm Nude. It's one of the minis that came in one of the nude lip bundles. All right guys, so here is the finished look. I'm obsessed. Quick run through of some of the products I used, like I said, that were like newer or basically new. Oh shit. Forgot to use something new that I wanted to use. It's literally staring me in the face. Wow. Okay, that'll be for another video. So this SAHARAN 2 palette. So basically what's been happening is my local Ulta has just recently fully expanded the JUVIA'S place. It used to be just like an end cap, but I know like JUVIA'S place is now coming into like pretty much all Ultas with like its own full gondola, and they have like all the foundations, the concealer, powder, like highlighters, all the eyeshadow palettes, the blush palettes, like everything. So I've been going a little crazy. I've expanded my JUVIA'S Place collection quite a bit in the last couple weeks, and just yesterday I added the SAHARAN 2. it's beautiful and perfect and pigmented and amazing, just like all the other ones. So I'm very excited to add that to my collection. This New Beach Glowing in Grease palette is beautiful. I have swatched these and tried on this highlighter on myself already, and it worked really well. The blush I've tried so far is this one, and it worked extremely well. And I have swatched the other two blushes, and they look beautiful. They have the same kind of texture too, so I'm pretty sure the rest will work really well. I am most likely either gonna get another one of these or just sanitize this one and just have this for my wedding kit, because to me, this is like a beautiful and perfect wedding blush palette that you can use from very light to deeper skin tones because of the shade ranges. So I really enjoy this palette. It is beautiful. Very on the fence about this concealer. I was able to make my face look right by going over everything with my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, which, like I said, smooths everything out. But my foundation was looking good with the e.l.f. primer I'm trying, but then I blended this concealer on and I felt like I looked super heavy and cakey. So I'm on the fence about this. I'm going to, just like with the primer, I'll probably put a little blurb here about how I feel about it once I see how this makeup goes through to the end of the day. But in terms of the hydrating claim of this being a conceal and hydrate, it didn't feel any more hydrating or different than my other concealers I really like. So to like get it for that purpose of being more hydrating, I don't feel like it seems more hydrating. And if it's gonna make my skin look cakier than a concealer, like for example the e.l.f. one, which is even more full coverage than this one, but looks amazingly natural and beautiful. Like if it's gonna cake me up and not even be full coverage and not even hydrate, I'm not gonna be about it. So like I said, I will update you guys on how that goes. These lashes are so good. I think the 2-pack was like $7 or $8, 100% worth it in my opinion. If you want big eyelashes that don't have a thick band and don't feel heavy, these are the ones you want. They are huge and beautiful, and the band, as you saw in the video, is so thin and amazing, so highly recommend those. This Stila liquid eyeshadow worked amazingly. The color blended on top really nice. It was pretty much full coverage in terms of the color payoff, so I was able to get a really nice cut crease with it. So I'm really excited about that. I want to try and do another eye look that's like just green and kind of maybe like blend this on the lid and then like buff out the edges or something just to see how it looks on its own. So I'm excited about that. Snakebite. Ya tu sabe. You guys saw in the video, you already know. It was beautiful, very, very happy about that. And then finally, yeah, everything else was something I've used before. Finally, Cookie, beautiful, almost too light. Just like, almost too light. Still okay, really pretty, nice texture, looks really pretty, need more colors. Even me, who is a light person, would like a darker color than this one. So that is my thoughts on that. And yeah, that's about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Thank you so much for watching as always. Please subscribe and I will see you next time. Bye.